But yeah, so I've got a quote here from Nicholas Briggs somewhere. I'm just trying to find it. He said, "Why is it that people want the doctors to get together? I mean, we do. We all do. We want the doctors to get together. We do like a doctor. We do like the doctors to get together, don't we? But it's always very difficult to do it when it's. Hang on, here we go. But it's always very difficult to do it, and we've done it quite a lot." He's added, "I wouldn't rule it out, but I don't think it would be Chris's number one priority, although I'm sure he'd be on board for something like that. And it's not our number one priority at the moment. We're focusing on giving lots of great stories to Ninth Doctor, which are about the Ninth Doctor. I think meeting other Doctors, that's a whole different thing, but I think it would be a wonderful, and fingers crossed, maybe one day we could do it." So I read that and I sort of thought, that's probably not going to happen. You know, that's sort of Nicholas Briggs going, if Chris wants to do more, we'll do more after this initial box set. But then today, just let me finish, in the video that was released on the Doctor Who YouTube channel, Chris mentioned about meeting past Doctors, and he spoke very openly about the idea of future. He never said, "I'm going to do more," but it was he never said, "Oh, it's a one and done," or "Let's see what happens." It was, "Oh, I would like this. That would be interesting." So it makes me think that there is the opportunity for a second box set in which you can meet classic Doctors. Harold, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I'm going to do this in two tiers. Firstly, addressing what Chris said in that interview that he did. Interestingly, when he was asked about any doctors specifically, the one he mentioned was Patrick Troughton.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know, are there any kind of impersonations like John Coleshaw?
There's a guy called Peter Walsh who does an amazing Patrick Troughton impression. I don't think he works for Big Finish.
And I know
Big
there's,
Finish
what's his face? Who...
Go on, Reece Shearsmith.
No, I was going to say, well, there's Reece Shearsmith, but also, who's the actor who played Jamie? Because he does a lot of
yeah, I know who you mean. Yeah, I can't remember. Fraser Hines.
Because he does... Fraser Hines. Fraser Hines himself also does a pretty good Patrick Troughton impression. So, whilst obviously we don't have Troughton anymore, it is within the realms of possibility something like that happening.
I also feel like maybe Chris said Patrick Troughton in the hopes that he would say an actor who's no longer alive, and therefore that would kind of shut the door on it.
That is also a possibility. But I'm being optimistic.
Yeah, of course.
Also, one of the things from the interview that kind of Chris said was one of the things that brought him to the role, other than the fact it was a pandemic and it was paid work, was the quality of the writing. And that the writing was really good. So perhaps, you know, even post-pandemic, if he's had a good experience with Big Finish and they come to him again with a really enticing script, maybe now he's kind of dipped his toes in and he's had a good experience with it, maybe he's all the more likely to return now when he wouldn't have done previously.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I feel like, I know they've approached him before and he said no because it wasn't the right time. And I think the right time is because we're in a pandemic. But even though the right time is a negative, hopefully that's going to open the door to more things. It's almost like he was sort of forced into this, but because he's forced into it, he's realised that it is more than just going, "Oh, fantastic," or whatever. There is like this really high quality of writing.
And going back to the stuff about Doctor crossovers, and you mentioned all the kind of the Doctors who haven't had a crossover.
Yeah.
And that made me go into 60th anniversary speculation mode. I know we've pretty much every episode we do some kind of speculation about the 60th.
Yeah.